Angela and Martine and Daniels and Zahara, everyone. So listen, I know you're excited about what can happen in 2025. So I want to get into it. Did you know that only 6% of people who set New Year's resolutions actually stick to them throughout the year? And then also, 80% of us abandon our resolutions by February. And that's just in a couple of weeks. So, in a couple of weeks, a number of you are going to stop, leave, abandon your resolutions. So, have you ever set a goal and struggled to follow through? Put a yes or no in the comments and let me know. And so, here's the question: why do so many of us struggle to stay on track, even when we set big goals, goals that are important, goals that we want to make sure that we accomplish? And particularly, I'm talking to my sisters out there, them high achieving women over 50 who are in your midlife. And for us, the challenges aren't just about ambition or achieving. The challenges are about balancing everything life throws at us. So, for some of us, it may mean juggling a demanding career with personal responsibilities. Maybe you're leading a team at work while managing, the care. You're a caregiver for aging parents, or you might be supporting some of them grown children. And that constant pressure from both sides can leave you exhausted, overwhelmed, and really questioning how much more you can take on. And then for us sisters in our midlife, there's ageism. And even with decades of experience, you might find yourself being underestimated. Perhaps it's a colleague or a client assuming you're not tech savvy enough, or maybe folk at work direct critical questions to someone younger. Frustrating. And it really can make you feel like you have to work twice as hard to prove yourself. Now, if y'all know what I'm talking about, put a yes in the comment. Let me know that I'm striking a chord with some of you. And then it may be that your challenge isn't about proving yourself at all. Maybe you're at a point in 2025 where you're asking, well, what's next? So, have any of you ever felt stuck trying to figure out your next step? If so, put a yes in the comment for me. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know whether or not this is resonating with you. You've achieved so much, but now you're ready for something new. Maybe starting that business or writing that book or finally stepping into your true purpose. Yet your path forward feels kind of unclear and you're not sure where to begin. And then maybe you're facing the challenge of putting yourself first. We can't forget how easy it is to put ourselves last. You might skip meals, sacrifice sleep, or push off that doctor's appointment because there's just not enough time. But deep down, that kind of neglect takes a toll on your energy, your focus, your well being. So, all of these things I've talked about, do any of them sound familiar? If so, put a yes in the comments. But I want you to know, if it does sound familiar, you're not alone. These challenges are real and they're significant. But here's the thing: they don't have to hold you back. And I got a solution for you. I will show you how a structured 90-day approach to planning for 2025 can help you navigate these challenges. So, how's that sound? Having a clear roadmap, Are you someone who likes to have, some clarity, a roadmap to follow? If so, let me know. I'd love to know about that. Are we on the right track here? Is this providing some value for you? If so, let me know. So good to see all of you on TikTok there. And I see several of us have joined, several people from IG. I love having you here. And so, if you joined me in my last video, which was about uh, future proofing your success, and I revealed some strategies that you could really use in 2025. Now, you could go to YouTube or on LinkedIn and check that video out if you missed it. In that video, I talked about the power of planning to create that roadmap for your best year, and something that could be fun. But today we're going to take it a step further because I want to help you focus for in a specific amount of time, a 90-day framework to help you take action and make those plans real. Because this isn't just about setting goals. It really is about creating that kind of roadmap that gives you some clarity, that aligns with your vision and what you dream about, that supports your well being and positions you for that unstoppable success in 2025. Yes. So if you all want to, get that success, let me hear about that in the comments. Say, yes, want that success. So first, I want you, we do have to have that conversation about planning because I know you're going to say to me, Dr. Geneva, that planning. And I know it doesn't sound exciting at first, but stick with me because this is where everything starts to change and how you can be intentional and strategic about your business, about your life. And plan is that roadmap. It's not the whole journey, but it can be a guide that gets you moving in the right direction. And for those of you who I don't know yet, I want to say hello. I'm Dr. Geneva. Welcome to the Dr. Geneva Speaks Live show. And for me, planning has always been the foundation of success. It's what I've done my entire career, whether I was helping a neighborhood transform or creating strategic plans for nonprofits or working with leaders to design their next steps. And I've used it to raise over $100 million for business and community causes and establish over 50 different public and private partnerships to get that kind of community change, that kind of personal change. And I've seen it work, this planning, from every level, from small teams to entire communities to leaders like yourself. But here's the thing, planning doesn't have to be overwhelming or boring or set in stone. And that's why I wanted to come to you today with this approach that uses a 90-day framework. And again, it's not the be all and end all, but it is a way to focus your energy on one specific chunk of time, and that is 3 months. So I want you to think of it like your first quarter in a new role, starting the year out, your first 100 days, 90 days in doing something. So it's a manageable, powerful way to get started and build momentum for the new year. Excuse me. You know that this 90-day plan can give you some focus, and it's long enough to make some progress, but short enough to stay motivated. So stay with me as we go through this. And if you're like most high achieving folk, particularly women that I've worked with, you probably have a lot on your plate right now, whether it's running a business or leading a team or dealing with them life changes that always are being thrown at us. And so this approach helps you zoom in on what matters most right now. So I'm going to take us through that so that you'll have something that in fact you can use. And by the end of this video, you'll be able to jumpstart your planning for 2025. And you'll find some things that can really work for you. So please stay with me on this journey. If you're over on YouTube, I want to send a special shout out to you. And for those of you who are joining me on another platform, check me out on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. I'm trying to build up my presence over there because I know it can, really extend my reach and getting to the 100,000 women. That is my goal for 2025, to help them create unstoppable success. So going over there. And I just want to say thank you to all of you who are wishing me, particularly on LinkedIn, a happy anniversary, happy work anniversary, 8 years success. Now, really, my work anniversary is in March because it was in March that I started my company. But somehow I'm getting all of these wonderful congratulations now, and I love it. So we're going to do it from January, February through March. Okay. So let's get into, I have a graphic here for you that when you're planning like this, and so planning really has these basic 4 steps. And so we don't have to make it a big issue. Okay. There's some 4 basic steps. The first step is to identify the thing. What's the specific issue you want to tackle? Maybe it's figuring out, how to balance your work and personal life better. Or maybe it's starting that project that you've been putting off for years. So that's the first step. The second is, what are my options? What kinds of things can you do? What strategies could help you solve or address the particular thing, that particular challenge or problem? And particularly for my sisters over 50 in midlife, this should be an easy one because you've experienced so much in life. You've got that wisdom and you have the ability to be resourceful and creative. And so exploring options, take some time with this one so that you can really stretch out there. And for example, if it's about work life balance that you want to address, can you delegate more? Are there people in your sphere who could really help you out? Or perhaps you can restructure your schedule or set boundaries, learn how to say no better and when to say yes at the right time. And these boundaries can, in fact, knowing that can protect your time. So this is your creative, what are my options step. The third step is my favorite, and that is do it. that that step, and let's go back to that graphic that shows us the steps. Yeah, there we go. We're on the third step. So I jumped ahead. Okay, so you know how it is. We working with this live stream here. I'm trying to handle all the things here. The third step is to do it, which is my favorite because that's the action step. And that means that you take action, you implement, you do it, you try one of the strategies or options that you thought about and see how it works. And so if you're working with that, how do I balance what I do at work and my life and juggle all of that? Maybe one of the options you come out with is to carve out an hour a week to do something that brings you joy. Maybe that's one of the options. So you do it, you try it, you see what happens, how it works out. Okay. And then and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you this 90-day framework, because you can try these things out over the next 90 days and practice it and see how it works for you. And then the fourth step is just to check in and see how it's going. So you step back, you look at the results, you monitor it, you think about what you've done, you check in and see how you're doing, what's working, what's not, and you tweak and you adjust for better results. And so this is the basics of the four-step plan, the four-step process that you can use at any time. And so I want to say hello to all my friends over there on TikTok. Thank you so much for joining. And yes, I want you to come on, grab and study and get these 4 steps. They're very simple, terrifically simple. Hey there, Sherry. I see, folk joining from my Facebook group, Extraordinary Women Influencers. Thank you so much for joining. And for those of you who are interested and are not yet part of my Facebook group, come on over there. We, really get into it. Well, you can imagine just from the title of the group, Extraordinary Women Influencers. It's a powerful, we'd have some powerful conversations over there. Thank you for joining me too. Listen, these 4 steps, don't make a big deal out of it. They simple, and you can. Now I'm going to show you how to use it for this 90-day framework, but you can use it at any time, anywhere, for anything. 4 simple steps. I have found it and used it as a vehicle for transformation, to create that transformation. It's simple, but it be working. And like I said, it's not the whole journey. It's just the first step. And that's why you can use it as a specific method for you to do in 2025. But if you need help with this or any aspect of planning and creating your 2025 success, put the word success in the comments or direct message me on LinkedIn or IG or TikTok, because I can help you. Or click on the QR code that will show up on the screen sometime if you need any kind of help in doing this process for 2025. Okay, so what do you think? So are you finding some value in what we're doing so far? Let me know. Give me some feedback. Y'all got some questions or some comments? I see you all out there. What are you taking notes? That's good. I love it. Take them notes, and we're gonna move on in to the actual approach that I want you to use in this 90 days. Okay. And my friends over on TikTok, if you can't see my screen, but what you can do is you can come on over to YouTube and watch now, or you can watch the replay on YouTube. And, of course, if you go on over there, I want you to, like and subscribe and give me some feedback, because I want to build that channel so I can reach more people, and particularly women over 50, for unstoppable success. You understand what I'm talking about, right? Okay. So let's get talking about this 90-day framework. And the first thing that I want to talk to you about is the mindset, as you're thinking about this approach. So let's look at that. The mindset is the heart of how we approach every challenge and opportunity. So I have a graphic here I'm going to put up for you that really talks about, well, let me just ask, is the mindset and how your mind is thinking and how you approach things, Is that something you've worked on before? If so, put a yes in the comments. Um, have you worked on this before? Okay. So, a growth mindset, when we talk about mindset, is really built on the belief that growth and change are always possible. Yes. And it's about seeing your skills and abilities not as fixed, but as things you can develop and grow over time through practicing it and the effort and then thinking about it, reflection. And so, what does a growth mindset sound like? It sounds like I can learn, I can grow, I can improve. Or it might sound like, of course, this is hard. This is really tough. Anything worthwhile usually is. Okay. So that's what a growth mindset sounds like. And when you think this way, challenges don't feel really like the roadblocks that they might feel if you have a different kind of mindset. That's why mindset is so important. The challenges really become stepping stones. But here's what I want you to know as the tricky part. When even the most accomplished of us, the most experienced of us can slip into a fixed mindset anytime, anywhere, particularly when we're doing something new or when we've had a setback, like facing a health challenge or losing a loved one or a new challenge of moving from one city to a new city, a new location. And so don't be hard on yourself if you slip into that fixed mindset. That's okay. And so if you wonder about, well, what does a fixed mindset sound like? It says, um, I'm not good at this, or I'm not sure how to do this, or I'll never figure this out. And that mindset really disconnects you from your resources, which is what you have. It disconnects you from your assets, your creativity, and can leave you stuck and frustrated when you say that. Now, on the other hand, a growth mindset embraces failure and making mistakes is really part of the process. It's part of what happens. And that's what this growth mindset will do. And it says, when I fail, I'm not defeated. I'm learning. And this mistake or this failure is giving me information that I need to be able to move forward. Do you see the difference? And so, for example, if you're trying to learn a new skill, like I just always be trying to learn, how to do these live streams and this new technology. And let me tell you, I can't tell you how many times it creeped into my mind where I said, you know what? I'm too old for this. I'll never get it. Mhm. But I forced myself to say, okay, let me step into this um let me step into this growth mindset. You be talking it, you be teaching it. Okay, you need to do it for yourself. Okay. And so instead of now saying, like I used to, I'm too old for this, I'll never get it, I now say, this is tough. But with practice and with doing this, I can figure it out. Because you know what? I, I've done hard things before. And I can do this too. And I know you have too. You've done hard things, and we can figure this out. And with practice. And that's why, for the past couple of years, every Wednesday, I've come to you doing this live because I'm practicing. I'm trying to get better for you so that I could bring more value, more information Don't be scared and use the technology that we have and that's available to us, um, but on going on there and jumping. So, and then also why I come to you is because of the feedback that I want to get. And that's why I want your comments and your questions, because another important part of this growth mindset is how we receive and accept feedback. And so when we think about our mindset, instead of seeing it as criticism, let's see the feedback. That's why I want your feedback, your comments, your questions, what you think. I see it as a gift. And when we have that growth mindset, we can reflect on those things that went well, those things that didn't, and what we can do differently the next time. And this self awareness is a powerful tool for not only growth, but change. And that's why I want you to give me those feedback and those questions, because you know what? I'm either going to win or I'm going to learn. And you can too, either win or learn. And with that attitude, failure isn't something for us to fear, but rather a catalyst for our success. So unstoppable success in 2025. Mindset is everything. But once you've embraced that possibility of growth, then you need to um, point to that energy that you have towards a vision, a why that inspires and motivates you, which is the next part of this 90-day framework approach. And so now that we've talked about the mindset, let's talk about vision. And vision is more than just setting goals. It's about creating this clear, deep picture of the life that you want to have, that you design for yourself, that you want to see as a possibility, and what those possibilities are. And to create a compelling vision, it's so important to ask yourself that why questions and a series of questions. Check out my video on how to create a compelling vision. I've been asked to update and redo that, which I might for you for 2025. And if you'd like me to do that, make a comment about that. So let's look at that graphic now and start asking ourselves why and what's holding you back. What's missing in your life? It's all about when you see that vision, the dream bigger and better. And the biggest question to ask yourself is to think about that why. Ask yourself, why do I want to do whatever it is I want? What's missing in my life right now? What's holding me back? If I had three wishes, what would they be? Now, these aren't easy questions, but they really help you uncover what really matters to you. And so maybe you've already accomplished an awful lot, but you still feel something's missing. And so that's why this visioning process is a way to reconnect. And I invite you to, as you're approaching this 90-day framework, to spend some time on thinking about vision. And one of the most critical parts when we think about and do visioning is to ask ourselves why. I remember when I was working on the book about my dad, Justice on the Jersey Shore, and I started my first interviewing him, and it was just a phenomenal experience. And he was a civil rights activist, and it's so appropriate that I think about this story and share it with you today on the day of Martin Luther King's birthday. He was one of those um, hundreds and thousands of heroes in the civil rights movement that you really didn't hear about. that you didn't know about, but you knew they were there because they created such change. And so many of us have benefited from that change. So I decided to write his story with him. And so we set out on this journey together to write the book about him and all of the things he had accomplished, like changing housing discrimination laws in the state of New Jersey through his um, landmark civil rights case that he brought and took to the Supreme Court in New Jersey, and many other things that he had done. And one of the first things that I did was sit down and ask him in an interview format. And I still have those tapes. It's just wonderful. He's in heaven now. Um, but I asked him, well, why? Why do you, Daddy, want to write this book? And it was just so compelling to hear his response that talked about really the teaching that he wanted to do for young people to show them the way, the value he thought could be in showing the strategies, the leadership moves, the ways you have to be just so focused on what it is you want to do. You need to see that dream and that all of the challenges you're going to face, but that dream. And for him, it was of opportunity for every American, what you have to do to get there. And that was his why. And so that really just inspired me to do it and to finish the book because it was taking a long time. The other thing that inspired me was that he went out and told everyone in our small town on the Jersey Shore, Gigi's writing a book about me, my nickname. Gigi's writing a book about me. So everyone in the town knew. So, I had to follow through. But the main thing was this why. And when we approach our why it is we want something, why we want to do, why we want to see the success, and getting clarity on that why, you have a compass, that a North Star that can, just really guide your decision. And so do any of you feel like clarity about your why would make a difference for you? Let me know in the chat. Just a yes if you feel that clarity in your why really creates that vision and in fact can make a difference for you. Let me know. Give me some feedback on that. But here's the key. Creating that vision isn't just about dreaming big. It really is about thinking about becoming that person who can live that vision. It's a process of growth, of becoming. And that's why you want to make sure you include it in this 90-day framework that we're building that starts off with mindset and that gets to us, our vision. And that vision might be starting a business or writing that book that you know is inside of you, or finding more balance in your life. And to make that happen, you have to ask yourself, who do I need to become to make that vision a reality? And so let's move then into the next part about not just achieving that vision, but also once you've got that vision, how do you make it real? And that is aligning those actionable steps to move you closer to the life that you want. So we start with the vision, and then oftentimes people jump right to the goals. And goals are about, goals are really very important. But what's more important is that strategy to get you there. And that's what I want you to remember, that the vision comes first. Goals are important, yes, but they're not the star of the show. They're the tools, they're stepping stones to help you better align your actions or the strategy with the vision and what you see. And when I work with women leaders and organizations, this concept is something that is so important because we all focus on goals. I mean, I get it. I do, I'm a goal lover, I'm a goal setter, all of that. But as we're talking about this 90-day framework, I want you to be real clear on who's the star of the show. That's the vision. And to get to that vision, yes, you're going to have goals, things you want to achieve, those stepping stones, those action steps, but it's that strategy, that being intentional, being purposeful. Um, that's what you want, because without a vision, your goals can feel empty or directionless. They ain't got no direction. Directionless. No, that's not the word. What's the word? Anyway, without direction, if you don't have that vision. And because here's what can happen, just like any journey or trip that you take, the way you go, the route may shift along the way, but where you want to get to, that destination, that vision stays the same. So I do want you to really focus on vision in your 90-day framework. I want to make sure that you put the kind of time that's really critical. And so, even if you say to yourself, well, I know what I want to achieve, take the time to revisit it in 2025, to really ask yourself, does this really move me? Does this reflect my why and who I want to become? And it's important to revisit it because I've worked with a lot of folk where the vision doesn't really sync, or what they talk about doesn't really sync up with the strategy. So that if you have a vision of wanting a more balanced life, but you're still working 70 hours a week, listen, that takes you further away from your vision. So, do you understand why I want you to really focus on alignment when we talk about vision and strategy, and that the goals are those stepping stones and who the real star of the show is? And so, listen, take those small steps, and that's what I want you to think about in this framework, that as you're aligning your strategy with your vision, as you're thinking about, okay, so what do I do? That you take those small action steps. And so, does the idea of taking it small and tiny steps feel doable for you? I advise my clients on that all the time, because um, uh, it really uh, I found it to be just much more manageable if you take those chunks. And so if you can put those chunks in your schedule and plan for them, and it allows you to think about those steps and practice them. And the other thing, when we're at the stage of making sure that our strategy aligns with our vision, and we're thinking about the action and what to do, think about your resources and who's going to be with you to support you, or who you're going to reach out to collaborate with. So, as you're thinking about this 90-day framework of what to do and your vision, that becomes extremely important to do. So give me some feedback. What do you think about that and what we've done so far? Yes, so should we show that plan? You want to see that plan one more time? So this is the overall steps you're going to take. You're going to think about, and again, you can use this for your if you decide to take on the 90-day approach, or you decide, well, I want to plan for the year right here, right now. And if you do want to do that, let me know, because that's what I'd love to help you with. If you want to plan out something for 2025, the entire year, or for the next 3 years. let me know. Just connect with me, and I'll put up a QR code before we go. But that planning, the identifying, those steps. Let me put up that graphic one more time for you so that you can see the plan. So, identify the thing, whatever it is, um, explore your possibilities, your options. What are your options? Do it because, that's so important. Zig Ziglar talks about the difference between where you are now and where you want to be is what you do. Okay. So that doing it, that action is so important. Then you got to check out yourself and how you're progressing and what's your progress. And if you're seeing that, in fact, there are things that you can do differently, you make those tweaks. So this is the 90-day framework that I want you to give, to think about. And so in thinking about it, okay, let me say the bottom line. What's the bottom line? The bottom line is that this 90-day approach isn't just a tool, it's a way to take one step at a time and to test it out. Because plans don't really work unless you do. Okay, that is the bottom line of it. That's the truth. Therefore, the key is to start small and defined, and that's why I wanted to bring this 90-day approach to you. Hey, Dr. Pierre, how you doing? Now, Dr. Trin and I had a conversation about mastering life transitions, and that's a perfect um, time for you to use a 90-day frame for what you're going to do in 2025. So if you're facing something right now that's tough or something new and different, maybe you're thinking about starting a new career, uh, go first of all and listen to the conversation that Dr. Trin and I had on YouTube. Please go there, like it, of course, comment and share it. And then that'll give you some information, some strategies you can use as you're developing your 90-day frame for 2025. So again, here's the bottom line. You want to think about your mindset, your vision, and your strategies, and put it into action over the next 90 days. That's what you're going to do. It's going to jumpstart you. It's going to be a small step, but plenty of momentum. And I really want to hear how it works for you. And remember, it's not about being or getting this perfect or right. That's not about it. It really is about the progress that you can make. And every small step will help you create momentum and putting together a plan that works for you. And again, you don't have to do it alone if any of this resonates with you or it clicks and you say, wow, I want to do this. Hey, we could do it together. Give me, give me a DM. Let me know. Um, let me know your thoughts, your concerns. You can put something in the comments. You can direct message me, or you can click on the QR code. I know I've got it here somewhere. And so I'll make sure that we put the QR code for it. But you don't need to do all that. You can just connect with me on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, direct message me. And there's my QR code. You can use that. And you know how you do that with the phone. Y'all know. Now, if I know how to do that, I know y'all listening know how to do it. Where you go to your camera and you put it up there. And yes, you take direct to me. this and the link is to connect with me is also in the comments, so you can check the comments. They're pinned. You go over to YouTube, it's pinned right there in the comments. I love it. I keep saying going over to YouTube because I want you to go over there and join me on YouTube. So listen, I hope this has been valuable for you. I see we've got, so I think we've answered most of the questions or reacted to the comments. Oh, one of the questions I see is, how do we begin? Well, a plan. I assume you mean how do you begin this 90-day? Well, tomorrow you can take the first step. And again, what I want you to do with the first step is after you understand the planning process, those 4 steps that you can apply anytime, anywhere. Okay. Remember those. Those are the steps. After you remember that any process is going to involve these 4 steps, what I want you to do starting tomorrow is to get your mindset together, to wrap your mind around what it is you're about to do, and that you're going to put yourself into a growth framework state, that you can do this, that you've got limitless possibilities and resources, that you have those assets, and that you can do this. And you're going to that's the first step. And then once you do that, you're going to think about your vision. Well, what do I want to accomplish in 2025? And what does the next 90 days look like in order to accomplish that? And then you'll, think about the goals and the stepping stones and all those things we talked about. Replay this video. I went through the details on that. And then you will put it into action once you've developed your strategies. And beginning is taking the first step to mind. Okay. So any other questions that people have, let me know. You can leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Best success to you for Unstoppable 2025. I'll see you next week. And I want you to know that next week, many of you have asked me, okay, Dr. Geneva, we get it, the plan. We understand it. We understand the importance of planning. We see how you've kind of helped shape how we create a framework. Well, how do we implement? What are the actual tactics that we can use? So next week, we're going to be talking about strategies and tactics, and I'm going to share a lot of my secrets and the tools that I use to intentionally act to get what it is that we want for success, to achieve, to really go beyond achieving and self-actualize, really recognize our full potential. So next week, I'll be focused really, it's going to be a very tactical, strategic conversation about how to do it and with real life examples. So I hope you'll join me next week on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. My friends over here on TikTok. I'm glad to see y'all still with me. My audience on TikTok, I love y'all because they can't see the screen and the graphics, but they're still here. Plenty of comments. Oh my gosh, they're just coming all in. Love you. Go on over to YouTube to see the graphics. And that's what we're going to do. And Facebook, love you all. See you soon. Extraordinary Women Influencers Facebook group. Love you all. Thank you for all the love and comments. And listen, I'm going to see you next Wednesday, 9:00. Join me then for Dr. Geneva Speaks Live. Bye.